Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel where I make tutorials on various baked goods and decorating techniques. For my third video, I'll be showing you all how to decorate flower cupcakes. This design is easy, but will look very impressive to your customers or friends or anyone you share these with. So without further ado, let's jump straight in. So our first design is going to be our open flower petal, and if you've seen my succulent cupcake video, this is a very similar process. So I'm using two colors, white frosting with a Wilton 3 tip and pink frosting with a Wilton 127 tip. So you're going to want to take your cupcake and your Wilton 127 tip, and as you can see me doing, create little semicircles around the edge of the cupcake. I like to do this by rotating the cupcake as I apply pressure to the bag, and you're going to want to just do that until you have the entire cupcake filled in. If you saw my plant cupcake tutorial, this is very similar to the leafy green succulent that I did. I'm just using a larger tip, the Wilton 127, but if you want to use a smaller petal tip like the Wilton 104, that would also work just fine for this design. If you haven't checked out that video, you should definitely watch it. It's really informative. But yeah, I've filled in the entire cupcake. So now I'm taking the Wilton 3 tip and I am creating little dots in the center to create the center of our flower. And that's all there is to it for this design. So our next design is the rose petal flower. By the way, my dog wanted to join me for this. So I'm taking the Wilton 104 tip with pink frosting, and I'm creating a little upright mound in the middle to build my flower off of. And then I'm going to take my tip and I'm going to make sure that the wider end of the petal tip is facing down. And as you can see, I'm creating little rainbow shapes around the center of the cupcake. So the technique I use for this is I create a little rainbow, and then to create my next petal, I go about 1/3 of the way from the right of the rainbow and then build my second petal off of that. And I'm just doing that around and around the cupcake until the entire surface area is filled. And that's your finished look. So our final design is a layered petal flower, and for this I am using the Wilton 3 and the Wilton 104 tips with white and pink frosting. I'm starting with my Wilton 104 petal tip, and the technique for this is to create little hooks or candy cane like shapes. So it's a little curve towards the edge of the cupcake, and then you bring it into the center as you see me doing here. And so the first step is to cover your first layer of your cupcake with these hook shapes until it is completely filled. So now that your bottom layer is done, it's time to start adding your top layer of petals. It's the same exact process. I'm creating little hooks and I'm kind of putting them in between each petal to create a staggered effect. But once you have that all around your cupcake, the petal part is done, and it is time to take your Wilton 3 tip and create little circles in the middle of the flower, just tiny little dots to create the center look of your flower. And that's the finished look. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope this was an informative and helpful video for you all. I'd love to know how it went for people, so let me know on my Instagram, pw.bakes, or in the comments of this video. Stay tuned for your next tutorial, which should be coming out sometime next week. Bye, thank you.